Former Trump counselor Kellyanne Conway is a pretty terrible person. I've done a lot of stories about her. Not only, of course, did she serve as a mouthpiece for the Trump administration for quite some time, coining things like the Bowling Green Massacre. Remember that? Which, of course, didn't happen. It's not a real thing. And yes, alternative facts. Alternative facts. But she's also been feuding pretty publicly with her teenage daughter, Claudia. Now, even going so far as to share a lewd photo of her on social media. Now, Claudia is only 15 or 16. I can't remember which, but generally she's a minor. Okay. And that's what's important. She's a minor. And if you share photos of minors on social media, lewd photos, that is, of course, a crime. That is sharing child pornography. So now, wait, I thought QAnon, I thought the right wing were all worried about the children. Save the children, save the children. So what's going on with Kellyanne Conway? Why hasn't she been banned from social media? Why hasn't Twitter kicked her off the platform? Why hasn't anybody arrested her? What's going on here? It's a good question. Good question. Now, her dad isn't much better. Her dad co-founded the Lincoln Project, who, despite, of course, grifting resistance libs out of millions of dollars in donations, had no effect on the election whatsoever. Remember, they said, "Oh, we're gonna beat Donald Trump by showing ads." Now, let's be fair; some of the ads were pretty funny, but I'm look, libs are the audience to that. All right, and yeah, I like dunking on Donald Trump. Who doesn't like dunking on Donald Trump? But at the same time, it didn't really do anything to help the election of Joe Biden. In fact, you ended up having more Republicans voting for Donald Trump this time than last time. And so they made a lot of money. They pocketed a lot of cash from this grift, right? And of course, the Lincoln Project also, one of the co-founders is accused of sexually harassing his male employees and helping to foster a very toxic work environment. So basically, it seems like everything that this family seems to touch is cursed, which led to an interesting moment on American Idol. So now I would love to show you the clip. I'm not going to be able to. So it has music in it, and I will get DMCA'd. I will get DMCA'd so fast for a 10-second clip, my head will spin. So I'm not going to be able to do that, but I can show you at least a screenshot. So there's Claudia, there's her mom giving her a nice special message. Kellyanne was beamed in via video to tell her teenage daughter how proud she was of her, despite the fact the two had been bitterly fighting one another in public over the last several months. Here's what she said: "We love you so much. We're really proud of you." Okay, so there you go. Now, that was public. Millions and millions of people saw the softer side of Kellyanne. Now, if you've been living under a rock or in a coma for the last 5 years, what you would have seen is a very sweet and supportive parent giving encouragement to your young daughter, who's on American Idol and is trying to start a career in entertainment. And it's like, "Oh, you're going to Hollywood. You're going to Hollywood. Wonderful, wonderful." Now, everybody else who's been paying attention sees it for what it is. And this is American Idol basically rehabilitating a horrible person. And many were not pleased. All right. So now let me give you a little snippet of the social media just to gauge some people's reactions. One person, Leslie Abravanel, who's been a very vocal Trump critic on Twitter, said, "Never missed a season of Idol. While Claudia wasn't horrific, and you've had worse, there's no way any judge in any season would have let her through were it not for her controversy. Being that she is a child, I blame her parents first, you second. Thanks to Katy Perry for saying no." So, look, I don't watch American Idol. I don't really care for it. I hate reality television. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. I absolutely despise reality television, right? And the only reason I'm talking about this story is because there is this tendency by lib media to go and rehabilitate some of the worst people. And I wouldn't be surprised if a few years from now, once Trump is safely out of the ability to say he doesn't run in 2024, he's like, oh, I'm too old, I'm going to hand it over to whatever Republican. Once he's no longer a danger to the establishment, they're going to say, oh, Donald Trump, and you're going to have, Michelle Obama hugging him or something. I don't know. It's kind of gross. The whole idea of rehabilitating these monsters. But that's unfortunately what I see this situation being. And so, there's more responses that kind of talk about this, right? So now Stephen Boatwright says, this is the worst thing you've ever broadcast. And the bar was already so low. It's true. So true. The Normunist Party says, wait, was this tape before the alleged abuse? Or was it the entire drama a cunning PR stunt to launch someone's pop career? Now, this was taped back in November, right? But from what I could tell, from what I know of the Claudia Conway saga, and yes, I have not been talking about this on the show, but the Claudia Conway saga basically has been years of abuse and them fighting on social media, and so I don't know if this is like, it's starting to make me wonder if this is like a grift. Again, the whole family is full of grifting. What if? And see, and this is why I generally tried to stay away from this whole thing, because if it is actual abuse, then it's horrible. It's horrific. And that, she should emancipate herself and not be part of that family. But like at the same time, like if it's a weird stunt, if it's a grift, that's worse. And I don't even want to think about that being a possibility, because when you think about the implications of this, then it really makes you lose faith in humanity in general. And so, that's oof. Social Fly says her audition was taped in November, and Katy Perry had offered Claudia very specific advice to, quote, turn down the noise on social media and in her life. Given the family's very recent very public breakdowns, your producer has a responsibility not to exploit this for ratings. It's gross. I agree. But again, ratings here are absolute king. And that's what, no matter what the real situation is, ABC News is like, ratings. I mean, of course, your drama is great. Ooh, I can't wait to exploit it. I can't wait to make some money and some clicks and all that. David Hobby says, remember, and she's mocking Kellyanne, remember, honey, winners are people who are happy to exploit their underage daughter on national TV to try to rehab their reputation after working for a wannabe dictator. Lawyer Martin says, why are you allowing this criminal her redemption? Well, as I mentioned before, ratings. It's always been ratings. Again, this is the same network that rehabilitated Sean Spicer. Remember Spicy? Who was like hiding in the bushes and would come up with just the most egregious lies for the Trump administration. They don't care about the truth. They don't care. What do they care about? Well, and what is this about? It's about the club. They're all in the club, and it's a big club. We're not in it. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.